York internship, I felt overwhelmed and intimidated, not just by East Coast white people and the extremely ill-fitting advertising world, but by the entire world and the daunting notion of figuring out where I belonged in it. After my encounter with Jay, I began to daydream more and more about exploring magazine journalism, but I had no idea where to even begin looking for a job. And now I felt like I had wasted precious time that summer in the wrong place. At least I had another year left to figure it all out. Or so I thought. During fall enrollment of senior year, my academic advisor informed me that I had only one semester left, not two. I nearly peed my pants. What? No way. This has to be some sort of mistake. My projected graduation date isn't until spring 2008. Nope. Because you packed in all your credits, you will be graduating ahead of schedule in December 2007. She delivered this information to me like it was a good thing. Congratulations! For most people, this news might be reason to celebrate. But for me, it induced heart palpitations. The panic was bone deep. I was going to graduate early. By accident. Seriously? Who does that? I felt as if I were peering off the edge of a cliff, looking down into the big, black abyss of my future. I knew I had to jump, but I had no idea where I might land. I didn't even know where to aim. But thanks to that internship in New York, I did know that once I entered the workforce, I was inevitably going to spend more of my waking hours at my job than anywhere else for the rest of my life. So I'd better damn well love the work. I've always wanted a career that felt like less of a choice and more of a calling. But in order to heed the call, I had to quiet all the noise in my head and the fear in my heart. Growing up in church, we were taught to trust that God has a plan for all of us. And I believed that, but there were no hard and fast hacks on exactly how to uncover that plan, except for the seemingly esoteric practices of prayer and faith. This was the year I finally came to understand what that meant. With only one semester left, I used graduation as a deadline to figure out what the hell to do with my life. I quit the party scene, pulled away from shallow friendships that were taking me nowhere, prayed hard for clarity on my next move, and searched for the signs that could point me in the direction of my destiny. I was embarrassed to admit it at the time, but I actually started to look forward to those Friday nights in just me, myself, and Google, dreaming up the possibilities in candlelit solitude. Trying to figure out how to pursue your passion in 90 days sounds like one of those best-selling self-help books or a viral TED Talk, but ultimately, in practice, it was more like being lost in a dark room and not knowing if I'd ever find my way out. It required a deeper level of faith than I'd ever had to call upon. I spent the next few months in a perpetually anxious state, searching, praying, and fasting from the frivolous things I used to waste my time on. But the deafening silence on the other end of my prayers tested the limits of my faith. Time was ticking, graduation was nearing, and I felt lost in the sauce. While this period was scary as hell, I was certain even then that it was also absolutely necessary. It felt like it was all part of a much larger self-discovery process. So I just kept praying, asking God for divine confirmation. Send me a sign. Reveal to me why I'm here. Make it so clear that there's no doubt in my mind of what I'm meant to do. Then, in a fit of anxiety, I interviewed for a life insurance adjuster job in San Francisco. Just in case I missed the sign. That November, I came home for Thanksgiving and sequestered myself in my parents' study for hours, Googling magazine internships. I decided to get over my fear of rejection and just apply for the Essence internship that kept haunting me, making my heart race anytime I thought about it. Channeling my inner 9-year-old brown girl boss, I mocked up an imaginary magazine using clips I'd written from my college newspaper and pictures I'd taken during my rookie modeling days in college.